Hi everyone, it's Julie O. So I'm live, trying to answer any questions that you might have about diabetes management, especially now that we are in quarantine and or in social isolation, I should say, and you are home most of the time because we're supposed to be staying home and keeping safe, so we're not spreading the coronavirus. So I thought it'd be a good idea for us to talk. If you have any questions regarding diabetes management, that you let me know, and I'll try my best to answer. This is my first live, so I'm learning as I go. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll gladly answer them. If there are no questions, if you want to refer to this live video later on, you can. So I'm a diabetic educator, and that's what I do. So I help people with type 2 diabetes. Majority of the people I work with have type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, and those that are at risk for diabetes. I work with sometimes with people with gestational diabetes, and then we refer them on to the endocrinologist because they need special care while they're pregnant. So, and also if someone comes to our clinic and they have, because we're funded, the government is, we all have different fundings for different things. So we're funded to care for people with type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, and at risk, and some gestational diabetes here and there. So if someone comes to us and they have type 1 diabetes, of course we help them, we give them the information they need, we educate them on what diabetes is, how they can manage, and then we'll refer them on to the hospital or to an endocrinologist, because most clients with type 1 diabetes being followed up the majority of the time by different health agencies, because we all work in different ways. So that they'll be referred to most of the time at the clinic, at the hospital, and they will manage their diabetes through that way. But I am a diabetic educator, so if you have any questions about management, what to eat, what should I snack on, now that we're home, in terms of exercise, what should I do? I can give you some tips to help you with that. So if you have questions, you can type, I guess you can type it in and let me know, and I will answer them as I go. But in the meantime, for those that don't really know much about what diabetes is, diabetes is a chronic illness, meaning that once you are diagnosed with diabetes, either type 1 or type 2, you're always going to have diabetes. Of course, it's completely manageable, and people live long, healthy life with diabetes. So just because you're diagnosed with diabetes doesn't mean that you are going to be, it's like a life sentence. It's not, right? It's manageable and it's doable, and the same things that you're supposed to use to manage diabetes is what we're all supposed to do, whether you have diabetes or not. So, which includes healthy eating, right? Making sure that we're getting some exercises, and making sure that we are controlling our stress. And then, of course, if you, depending on the type of diabetes you have, and where you're at in terms of your health, you might need medication for the diabetes. Diabetes is managed through many, many avenues, and they're not all the same. This is why it's grouped into types, and not, so we don't say you have high blood pressure, or because diabetes is type 1. So if you're type 1, that's a category that you belong in, meaning that it's an autoimmune disease, meaning you it's like your body does not make any insulin. The cells that make insulin in the pancreas are not making insulin, right? So then for those that have type 1, their treatment is insulin, which is what's missing if you have type 1 diabetes. So before they can use the energy from foods, they actually have to use insulin. They have to either inject the insulin, or now there's many ways of getting insulin to people. So for example, there's the insulin pump that could be a person can have installed, and then they'll get continuous insulin that way. So that's kind of mimicking what a pancreas will do when in terms of in relations with insulin. And then you have type 2 diabetes, where usually your body starts off by making some insulin, so you're not without insulin, but then there can come a point where you're not making any at all. Depends on what's happening and how long you've had diabetes. Sorry, I keep shaking the camera. How long you've had diabetes. So if you have type 2 diabetes, your body starts off by making some insulin. So, but then diabetes is a progressive disease, meaning that what your body's making at the point where you're diagnosed with type 2. Let's say 5 years from now, it will be different. 10 years from now, it will be different because the cells that make the insulin gets tired, they get weak, some dies off. So diabetes management and diabetes, like the medication that you use to control diabetes will change based on what's happening in your body. So one person with type 2 diabetes is not the same as another person with type 2 diabetes. It's managed differently based on you, what's happening inside your body. So for example, if you are diagnosed early and at the point where usually we start with diet and exercise. So you're watching what you eat and you are exercising just to see, controlling your stress, to see how your body is able to manage the blood sugar that way. Every 3 months you will go for blood work, and when you go for this blood work, it's called the A1C or hemoglobin A1C test. And what that's doing is that your blood sugar, your blood is being measured, and we're checking how much sugar is attached to the hemoglobins, right? Because hemoglobin lives for your blood cells live for about 3 months. So how much sugar is attached to the blood we'll be able to measure, and when we measure that, it's in percentage. If the A1C target A1C level is about 7 or less, then that means you're managing whatever you're doing. So if it's diet and exercise and stress management, then you're managing well. So you continue to use that. Every 3 months you go for blood work because, like I said, diabetes is progressive. So you start off making certain amount of insulin or based on that, your health at the time of diagnosis, and then by the time you are you get your blood work, we're comparing to see. So if we were just saying 6 months from now, a year from now, 2 years from now, 5 years from now, we'll keep continuing doing your A1C, and your A1C is let's say from 7 to about 8 or 8.5, and it's gone up, then the medications that you're using or the management, the way you're managing your diabetes is reassessed. So you will be given medications, or if you're type 2, with oral medication to see how you do on them, and then different types of oral medications. There are some that work on the pancreas itself to help produce more insulin. There are some that works on different parts on the muscles, so the muscles more sensitive to insulin. Some that works on the gut. So there's different types of diabetes medications, and you'll be trying on different ones based on your health history at the time, and then after a while we'll see how you're doing. We'll check the A1C. So this is a continuous monitoring process. So when you have diabetes, this is why we say once you're diagnosed with diabetes, you have it pretty much for life, but you manage it, right? So everything you do affects it. If your stress level goes high, blood sugar goes high. If you are sick and you're fighting an infection, blood sugar level goes high. So if whatever you're doing affects it. So that's why we say healthy lifestyle management. So it's not a quick fix where you exercise very well for a certain amount of time and then it goes away, and then when you stop, then everything goes back to normal. Now, like whatever you do affects it. So if you're exercising well, you're eating well, that helps with your blood sugar management. Once that good behavior goes away, the sugar can start to creep up, right? And same thing, people can manage type 2 diabetes based on the A1C. If your A1C, a diagnosis like they say 9, that's very high. That means that your body can start to develop complications. So then in that sense, you will be put on insulin to help bring the sugar down, because remember, the goal and the purpose of diabetes management is to prevent the complications of diabetes. And the complications includes the eye disease, the nerve damages, the heart disease, preventing stroke, preventing, like kidney disease and heart attacks and all of that. That's the bad side of diabetes if it's not managed, right? But as long as you're managing, you're doing your best to control your stress, eating healthy, and you are exercising and everything combined together, then, and plus taking your medication, you're following up with your diabetes educators, you're following up with your doctor and your specialist, and you're working with them, then you're managing your diabetes well, and you can live a healthy, long life. I have clients that are in their 90s that lived with diabetes for 50 years. Some lived with diabetes for 40 years. So it's not a life sentence. It's not like you're diagnosed and then that's it. It just required a little bit of work, right? Just like anything in life, we're creatures of habit. So if you are doing something that's harming your health, then we'll work with you to try and control those behavior, build in some new healthy habits to help you with your diabetes management. So now that we're home from, like we're home from work and from school, and when you're home and you don't have much to do and you're bored, you tend to eat quite a bit. So it's important that you watch what you eat and you're mindful, right? So you're kind of keeping track of what you're doing. We're not moving as much because we're home, right? So try to make sure that you're getting your exercise, and the exercise can be in 10-minute blocks. So as long as you are exercising 10 minutes at a time, it counts towards your exercise goal of 150 minutes per week. So, and that when you get the 150 minutes per week, that's helping you keep your body and your health the way it is. So it improves your blood sugar. It can, some people, it can, if they don't do any activity at all and they start doing it, they might see some weight loss, right? So, and all of that will help overall with your diabetes management. So it's important to do some activity. So we're supposed to keep social distance, but if you're in a building or you're in a house and you have a backyard, then you can time yourself 10 minutes. I'm doing my 10-minute walk. And because I know myself, when I start to do exercise, and especially when you're tired, you're doing your exercise, and then 5 minutes into it, and you think you've done like 20 minutes, but it's only been 5 minutes. So it's a good idea to always time yourself to know that for sure you have gotten your 10 minutes. And if you get that 10 minutes, that helps you towards your exercise goal. And if you're someone that needs to do a little bit more, let's say the goal is to get 20 minutes a day. So if you can do 10 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening, that helps you, right? Make sure that you're keeping your social distance while you're doing this, because we can't just sit and not move, because then our sugar level will go up. When we gain weight, our sugar level goes up with it. So it's important to maintain our weight at least through this time, and we're not overeating. And to prevent ourselves from overeating is you have to eat a balanced meal. So when you're getting all the different nutrients and all the different vitamins and minerals from your food, then that will help you stay full longer, so you're not overeating and you're not over snacking, right? And be mindful of when you last ate, because sometimes when we're bored, we'll eat. So if you eat because you're bored, sugar level will go up, right? So be mindful that you're getting your 3 meals at the same time. You don't want to go without eating either, right? Because then when you don't eat, you're relying on your liver to release sugar into your bloodstream. So it's important that you eat regularly. Every 4 to 5 hours you have a meal. So you have your breakfast, your lunch, and your dinner. And if you're someone that needs snack in between based on how you're managing your diabetes, for example, let's say you're taking insulin and all of that, then you can have a little bit of your snack. And a snack is not a meal. So a snack is not a whole sandwich. Half a sandwich is considered a snack. A piece of fruit with some nuts, or so a snack should be in a combination of protein and carbohydrate. So if you have your carb and your carbs, you get it through your fruits. You get it through your fruit, and you get it through your fruit, your milk product, and your grains and starches. You're getting your carbohydrate through there. So make sure that your carbohydrate combination with a protein. So protein, you can get it from animal source or plant source. So plant protein includes like your nuts, your seeds, all your lentils and your beans. All of that are like that. So it's important to include and get a balance. Thank you. Get a balance of those meals, so you're getting the nutrients that you need to stay healthy. So it's important that we keep an eye on our blood sugar. If you're someone that tests your sugar, you make sure you're testing it based on your treatment, right? So for example, if you're someone that's only using diet and exercise and stress management to control your diabetes, then you don't need to test your blood sugar that often, right? So you can check it. Let's say you can alternate. You can do like every 3 days. You can check your sugar, and when you're checking it, it's a good idea to do before and after meal, just so you see how the food is affecting your blood sugar. So if it's your before meal and the before blood sugar, we want the target between 4 and 7. So if you check and it's within that target, and then 2 hours after you eat, so you have to wait a whole 2 hours just to see how the food affected your blood sugar. And if you check and it's within the target of 5 to 10, that means you're doing well, right? So keeping your sugar in check once, if you're not feeling well, especially with the coronavirus and we're in the flu season and all of that, if you're not feeling well, it's a good idea to keep an eye on your sugar a little bit more because, everything, illness affects our blood sugar. When we're stressed, it affects our blood sugar. When we're anxious, when we're depressed, everything emotionally and physically affect our blood sugar. So to make sure that you are, based on whatever treatment, if you're taking certain medication that cause your body to make more insulin, then you're checking your blood sugar, let's say, like every day, before and after a meal, just to see where you're at. Whenever you're not feeling well, always check to make sure that it's not your sugar that's causing you to feel however you're feeling. So if you're feeling really tired, you're not really able to sleep much, and you are, you find yourself feeling like really shaky and nervous, all of that could be related to your blood sugar. So if you check your sugar, and let's say it's before meal, or before meal fasting, and it's between 4 and 7, then you can say, okay, well, I'm feeling this way, but it's not my blood sugar because my blood sugar is within target. If you are feeling any kind of way and you check and your sugar is quite high, then it could be that, right? Because remember, whenever we're anxious, and like I said, every emotional, physical health, everything affects our sugar. So once you find out that what's happened, then take a, look back and say, what's happening to me? Like, am I more anxious? Am I eating more because I'm home now? Look at all of that and then try to make adjustment to what you're doing, because life happens. No one's perfect. We all go through ups and downs. Life, there's so much thrown at us, especially now. So so a person with diabetes, I would expect the sugar to be a little bit high because, when you're under stress, your sugar level will go high. If, let's say, you don't feel you're stressed, you don't feel you're depressed, you feel like you're doing okay, and your sugar level is just slowly creeping up, right? Then you can, give a call, because now don't just go into your healthcare provider, because they might not even be in the office. So give your family doctor a call, give your diabetes educator a call, and say, this is what's happening. I'm noticing my sugar is going up. I'm not more stressed than I usually am. I'm taking my medication clearly. And then they can go through some assessment with you. Because sometimes as humans, when we're doing something, unless we reflect back, it's hard for us to know that this is what I'm doing. Because, for example, you could be eating more and not realize that you're eating more. So if you, through diet assessment, you'll be able to come to know that you are maybe eating a little bit more, and then we can make adjustment that way. And if we do that diet assessment, let's say, you're not eating, you're eating enough, and your stress level, you found that it's good and everything, you don't have any infection going on, and your sugar is just going high, then it's time to readjust medication, right? Because diabetes is progressive. So whatever you are doing, whatever treatment you were using, let's say two 2 months ago might be different, or 2 years ago might be different from what you're doing now, because as the insulin that makes the cells that make insulin start to die down or go down, or not as they're tired and they're not being able to make that much insulin, then your sugar level is going to be high, because essentially it's the insulin that's helping control your blood sugar. So if the insulin level is going down, then your blood sugar level will continue to go up. So this is why we have blood work that we do, that you check in with your providers to see where you're at in terms of your diabetes management, so you know what's happening to you, right? And no question is a bad question. If you have any question, especially now with the type of foods that we're eating, like we're eating a lot of not processed but canned, right? Because you don't go grocery shopping as often, so you try to make things last. So all those things will have an effect on our blood sugar. So be mindful of that. If in doubt, call your diabetes educator. If you're not able to get a hold of them, call your family doctor. If you can't, call Telehealth Ontario. Like if you live in, or call your wherever you're watching me from. Like if you live in the States or live in wherever, whoever your public health agency is in the area, if you have their contact, you can call, and somebody will be able to assist you, because it's important for you to know what's happening to you. You don't want to wait till last minute where you're ill and now you have to go to the hospital. Because remember, whenever we go to the hospital, we are our chance of getting sick or being infected with other things that's going on in the world is higher, right? So, for example, if now with the coronavirus, if you go to the hospital and, like, because of your blood sugars are high and you need treatment, right? it's not guaranteed, but there's a chance that you might get even sicker while you're there. So you want to refrain from going to the hospital too much, because a person with diabetes is considered is vulnerable. And vulnerable means that it's much easier for you to get sick, and when you get sick, you can get really sick. So it's important for you to refrain from going to the hospital all the time. Check in with your providers to see what the next steps, like what you should do in terms of your diabetes management. And sometimes, like I said, it's different medication that you might need, right? One medication might work well for a while, and then after a while, if it's not working, then a different medication could be introduced. Remember, the diabetes medication, they're not all the same. They all work on different parts of the body. So one might work on the gut, one might work on the kidney, one might work on the pancreas, one might work on the muscles to make it more sensitive to insulin. So all of this is working together in all hopes to bring the blood sugar down, because the goal of diabetes management is to prevent complications. And complications is what we're trying to stay away from, which is the eye disease, the nerve damages that can lead to amputation, kidney disease and you end up on dialysis, heart attacks and stroke and all of that. So that's what we're trying to prevent. So whatever helps your body manage your diabetes well, that's what you do, right? Of course, you're in charge of your health, so making sure that you're using food as a way to heal your body, right? So eat the right foods, eat as healthy as you can. No one is perfect. We all go through, especially women, we all go through ups and downs where some months we're eating really, really well and we're exercising and we have the energy to do all of that, and then life happens and sometimes we're kind of down and tired and not moving much, right? That's just why diabetes educators are there. Your doctor is there to give you the encouragement and to come up with different ways and connect you with different resources that can help you with whatever that you're going through, to deal with that and to help you manage your diabetes. So if you have any questions, you can email me. I made myself available. You can email me. My email, you can email me at Living a Balanced Life Inc. So Living a Balanced Life with INC Inc. at gmail.com. You can email me there. You can send me a message through YouTube. In the comments of section of any video. I'll look at my comments all the time, so I'll be able to get your question. Or you can email me at livingabalanceLifeWithJulio@gmail.com. I'll get the question and I'll be able to answer I'll give you any tips that you might need to help you manage your diabetes. But having said that, remember, it's important to check in with your educator and with your doctor, because remember, we're looking at you and we're not treating the disease, we're treating you. So for example, I'm a diabetic educator, but I don't have access to your health records, right? So the advice I give you is limited in terms of, I don't know, for example, your kidney function. I don't know how your lipid profile. I mean, like if you have high cholesterol or you're not. I don't know what your A1C, which is the blood, your 3-month blood sugar averages. I don't know all of that. And but I can still give you an advice and help you. But at the end of the day, the provider that's caring for you, like your educator and your family doctor and then your endocrinologist, they are the ones that will be able to give you the proper advice in terms of, they have your blood work in front of you, in front of them. They can say, okay, you know what, your cholesterol level is high, so I'm going to put you on this medication because it helps with blood sugar and cholesterol. Or I'm going to put you on this medication because your kidney function is going down, and we need to be protecting your kidneys, and also at the same time help your blood sugar go down. So it's important to check in with your educator at least every 3 months. Depends on what you're doing, like, and your treatment every 3 months, just to see how things are going. If your diabetes clinic is closed, I'm sure you can still call them, because as an educator, we're doing calls over the phone to our clients, talk to them, to help them to do the counseling over the phone, right? Because we want to refrain, like I said, from stepping out. You don't want to be introduced to all the germs and viruses and things out there, right? You want to stay safe as much as. Sorry, a call came in. So keep in touch with them. Do your best to record as much as, so if you're checking your blood sugar, check your blood sugar and write them down, or it's in your machine. So whenever you call your educator, you let them know, for the past 3 weeks, this is what my sugar has been. They will look at that assessment, they will look at the medication that you're on, and then they'll make adjustment that way. If you need to pick up prescription medication, do the same, call your pharmacy, and then, have your doctor fax it to them. So refrain from stepping out as much as you can, because you don't want to be introduced to all kinds of bugs that's out there. Because as a person with diabetes, whenever you're ill, your blood sugar will not be controlled. It will be very high, and it depends. If you have type 1 diabetes, you can start to develop some ketones in your bloodstream, which becomes diabetes emergency, and because you're so dehydrated. Or if you have type 2 diabetes, you don't develop ketones because your body makes a little bit of insulin, but you can get extremely dehydrated, where you might need to go to the hospital to get, fluids and insulin and all of that to treat. So try to take care of yourself as much as you can. Do your best. No one's perfect. Get the help you need out there. Let your educators connect you with the resources that's out there, to help you manage through this time. And then when hopefully everything is well and done, and we're done with this coronavirus issue, then you can go back to doing what you're normally doing, which is checking in with your educators and making sure that things are okay with you. So it's very important. Do your best. Exercise, eat healthy as much as you can. Make sure you're getting half of your plate with vegetables. Get some any fruit, any vegetables or fruit that you can eat with the skin on. Do that, because it boosts your fiber intake, and that helps control your blood sugar, help control your weight, helps control your cholesterol and your blood pressure. So do yourself a favor and eat as healthy as you can. Like I said, no one is a robot. I can't program myself to just eat healthy all the time. You have to be mindful of these things too. So do your best. Do your best, and to stay healthy and eat healthy as much as you can. This will help you improve your blood sugar, improve your overall health. And when that's improved, then it helps you with your stress level and your anxiety and depression and all of that, right? So take care. If you have any question, like I said, email me, or email me, watch my video, like in a comment section, let me know. I'll gladly get you the resources that you might need to help you deal with any kind of issues that you might have. So if anybody have a question, I'm going to stick around for about 10 minutes more. If you have any questions, let me know and I'll answer them. Or if you don't feel comfortable asking it here, then by all means, email me later on and I'll be able to address it as quickly as I can. But always check in with your educators, always check in with your doctors to see what's been happening, right? Like if you had blood work done, call them, because now, it's urgency first. So if it's not something so urgent, they won't give you a call. So, but you can call them and say, you know what, I had blood work done. What is my result? Just so you know where you're at. It's important for you to be in charge, so you know how you're doing, and if things are not the way they are, then what kind of things you can put in place, to help you manage your diabetes. And remember, whatever you're doing to manage your diabetes is helping you with your blood sugar, your blood pressure, is helping you with your cholesterol management, right? So when you eat, think of it like you're eating and you're using food to heal your body, to kind of get rid of the problems that's happened. So if you have high cholesterol, let's say your doctor say, okay, you have diabetes plus high cholesterol, that's not a good combination. So in that case, when you're eating, making sure that you are eating foods that are very high in fiber. The type of fiber that helps lower cholesterol is the insoluble fiber. So the fiber that's like sticky, like found in okra and oats and all of those kind of foods, that will help lower your cholesterol, help eliminate cholesterol through your gut. That will help improve your blood sugar as well, because any food that you eat that is high in fiber, it's hard for your body to break down, because our body cannot digest fiber. It runs through us. So if your fiber level is high, that means that you're clearing your colon, you are getting rid of cholesterol, and you are improving your blood sugar that way, right? And because you're staying full longer, it refrains you from overeating and all of that. So, do your best. Do your best. Life happens, and whatever is happening, take it as it's happening. Get the help that you need, and then get connected to the different resources that is out there. Especially, sorry, I keep kicking the table. Especially people with diabetes. I know it's not like if you have diabetes, you're you're gonna be diagnosed with some kind of mental condition, but in my experience, a lot of people that have diabetes also struggle with anxiety, struggle with depression. So, and remember, those condition is affects your mind, and when that's happening, the way you're able to manage and control what's going on in your life is a little affected, right? For example, if you're very anxious and you're anxious all the time, for some people, your blood pressure is going to go up. Plus, the blood sugar is going to go up because whenever we're anxious and we're depressed and we're going through anything, our body is giving us the energy to deal with that. And that our energy is sugar, glucose. So glucose is our energy, and if you're not able to, thank you, if you're not able to manage your mental stressors and all the things that's going on with your mental health, then that affects your blood sugar, right? We don't think it does, but it does, because our mind is not separated from our body. It's all connected, and we're human, and everything is connected. So what's going on in our mind affects what our behavior, right? Some people, if they're depressed and it's not under control, they're eating more. So if you're eating more, guess what? Your blood sugar is going to go up. If you're eating more, you might gain weight, and when we gain weight, the weight goes up, sugar goes up with it. So these are not that it's your fault, right? It's not anybody's fault. It's just life happens. But have it at the back of your mind that, okay, now that my depression is getting worse, my sugar level is going to be high. So then at least you're expecting that, and you're not stressing about the fact that, why is my sugar high? And then, because remember, when we're stressing, our sugar level will keep going up and up and up and up and up, right? So whatever you can do to calm yourself, to de-stress, expect some of the norms, then it helps you, because when you're depressed, your sugar level is going to go high. If you have a cold, if you have any kind of illness going on, your sugar level is going to go high, because our body is built to release the energy we need to fight infection and fight depression and fight anxiety and everything, to work to keep us in a balance, right? So whenever the balance is off, that's when disease starts to form. So do your best. No one is perfect. We all go through life. Life happens. Trust me, it does. Stress happens all the time. But do whatever helps you de-stress and calm down, and so you're mindful of what's happening in your body, what's happening to your health is what you do. Be in charge of your health. Stay healthy as much as you can. If something is wrong, get the help, right? Being diagnosed with depression and anxiety is not the end of the world, right? But it could be if you don't get the help that you need, right? Like if you're not able to get the help that you need. So as part of the diabetes team, social workers are excellent. They'll be able to talk to you, connect you to resources that may be available to you that you're not aware of. They will help you with that. Sometimes it takes just talking to someone to get the anxiety and the stress and all that out there, and then that helps calm the mind, calms the body, so you can sleep and improve your health, right? So whatever resources that you need when you go to see your educator, your diabetes educator, let them know, Juliet, I'm going through a lot of stress. I'm feeling very anxious right now. Or I feel like my depression and my anxiety is not controlled. I'm doing this and this to help it, but it's not working. We'll refer you to see social worker. We'll refer you to see a psychologist, anybody that can help you with resources to help you manage that. And then we reassess. If things work out, then that's fine. If it doesn't and you still feel anxious, then we'll send you to see your doctor. They'll reassess the situation you're in, because sometimes, remember, mental health issues are health issues too. There's chemical imbalance. So it's not like you're doing something wrong. It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. So if serotonin level is down, dopamine level is down, you're going to feel low. You're going to feel depressed. You're going to feel anxious. So when is that kind of issue, then doing all the mindful things like exercising, eating healthy, controlling as much, deep breathing, listening to music, if all of that helps you. But sometimes you need medication, right? Because like I said, the chemical imbalance is there, and we need to fix that in order for things to improve. So being started on medication for any kind of mental illness is not the end of the world. Like, oh, I'm taking this, that means I'm crazy, or I'm this. That's not it. If there's chemical imbalance, that's what you do. For example, diabetes. You have diabetes because your body's not able to make enough insulin. Insulin is a hormone, it's a chemical in the body. So when the chemical is imbalanced, disease forms. So the same thing with the mind. If you are, depressed and you feel down, chemical imbalance, you're taking different medication, and then different antipsychotic medication that's out there to help manage different things, right? So, for example, if you're anxious and you're not able to sleep, whenever you are not sleeping, guess what? Our sugar level is going to be high, because not sleeping is stress on the body, because your body is not able to repair itself. It's not getting the rest it needs, right? And so your body is just your body is going to be giving you, like your liver will be shooting a lot of sugar into your bloodstream to give you the energy to deal with the stress, which is not sleeping. So it's like this, it's like this vicious cycle. So solving one problem can help the other one. So for example, if you're not sleeping because you're anxious and you're doing all the good things like eating healthy and exercising and calming your mind and breathing and listening to music, journaling, whatever helps you, you're doing all of that, but you still feel so anxious, then you might need medication. And when you start that medication, the different medication, like I said, some will help you improve your sleep, right? Because if it helps calm the mind, therefore you're able to fall asleep. And if you're able to fall asleep, you'll be able to function better. And if you're able to function better, guess what? Your blood sugar improves. When your blood sugar improves, mentally you feel more sound, you feel more alert. You're a better mother, a better father, brother, sister, whatever. You're productive at work. You will be able to go through life and manage life as it is. But if you're not, and because you're scared of taking medication or scared of getting the help you need out there, then it's like you're suffering alone. And there's nothing more sad than going through mental stress and any kind of mental illness or any kind of illness, and then you feel that you don't get the support that you need out there. It's a very lonely time, and it's not good for you, right? So get the help you need. Talk to people you trust. Build good social support for yourself, right? Surround yourself with positive people. We want to socialize, but we want the core people around us to be positive, because you don't want a person around that constantly tells you, every time you tell them, oh, this is what's happening to you, and they give you 10 reasons why something bad is going to happen to you. That's not what you need to hear. You need people that will encourage you to, yes, this is happening, validate that this is what's happening, but it will get better. And then, because it always does, right? And it all depends on the attitude and how you look at things. You can look at the glass half full or half empty, right? And that has a big effect on how we go through life and how we're able to manage and persevere in life. So do your best, stay healthy. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'm gonna try to come up with, now that we're home, right? I'm gonna try to come up with a scheduled time where I can do live streaming. And if you have any questions, or if you don't want to email and you want to speak to me, then we can do it that way. I'm going to try, right? Because remember, 4 kids, 4 babies, and a husband makes it 5 kids. So it's hard to, I'm trying to keep the balance too. So I'll try my best to come up with, ways to keep you informed, so we can all work together to live a healthy, balanced life. So when I come up with the schedule, I'll let you know. Let's say like every Monday from 4 to 5, I'll be live and I'll answer any questions. And then if you have anyone anywhere that has diabetes, please tell them about this. Let them tune in, and then we can all work together, because the more the better. The more you're getting the support you need, the better your health becomes. And and I'm always learning. You never stop learning, and especially in the field of diabetes, it's always new. Everybody reacts differently to different things. So if you have any tips or any thing that you've tried that worked for you really well, please share, so then I can share with others, and then so we can all work together to live a healthy, balanced life. Thank you so much for all of you that tuned in. Like I said, I'll come up with a schedule. I know this was kind of last minute. I was like, you know what? Someone's like, you should do live stream. I'm like, let's see what it's all about. Let's see how, setting up. So this is a test ride. We'll see how it goes next time. And if you have any questions that you think of now, write it down. I'll let you know when I'll come live again, or email it to me, and then I'll answer you. And so we can all hopefully get back to our norm soon, when all this coronavirus nonsense is done. So take care of you, take care of your family, stay connected, listen to the advice, stay at home. Please stay at home if you're supposed to stay at home, so we can all get the coronavirus curve down, so we can go back to our normal life. Because the kids are home, they're overeating, they're bored. And when they're bored, guess what? They come to mommy. They follow mommy around. And it's hard to entertain them because they can't really go out that much. So, listen to the advice, take care of you. Let's all work together so we can stop this virus and go back to our normal life. So take care, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.